Hey everyone, it's Sabrina. Welcome back. I have another This Is Me. I think I'm on part 6, I believe, or 7. This part is gonna have 22, 23, 24, and 25. So that means I am so close to finishing this. For this one, I am doing favorite pastime, favorite hobby, scrapbooking, obviously, and then favorite form of exercise. Besides yoga, I would say cycling. I'm not quite back into cycling yet, but I wanted to document cycling, so I'm going to document cycling. Then the next one that I kind of came up with on my own is Hope. I got a Hope mailer from Brandy Kincaid. I'll leave a link for her in the description box below, but in the mailer is so much good stuff, and she has some postcards in there as well, and I've decided to use one and to just kind of document a little bit of hope and do some rainbow stamping coming off of the card. And then over here, Kellie Stamps had for one of her prompts 3 things. So I am going to do some variation of that with the Everyday Explorers prompt stamp sets that I have. So I don't know exactly where I'm going with this one, but I know it'll be fun because it's a little twist on the prompt that Kellie had. So I am going to switch to voiceover. If you guys enjoy another This Is Me project come together. Okay, so I'm going to start with favorite hobby. And I just picked 3 random photos that I found. The top one is the most recent. And I am going to do a kind of staggering stacking of the photos, and then I'm going to build from around there. And as you can see, I have a huge block of stamps that I've already set out that I want to use. One of those is kind of the scallop circle from a recent Everyday Explorers stamp set. I'm going to use it on both pages, that way there's a little bit of consistency. And I am just using the white paper to stamp all the different circles and then the sentiments that I want to use. I also stamped Time to Scrap in 2 different colors because I wasn't sure what I was going to use as far as the color for that. I'm going to get started on stamping the title, this time picking the Kellie Winnell Stamps stamp set. I did not have my F. I covered part of the F, I didn't have the F, so I covered part of the F with some washi tapes. That way I could make the F. And I am just stamping out Fave Hobby. I didn't want to do Favorite just because it was so long. I am going to use the Kellie Stamps large Bolton numbers to stamp out 22. I am going to do that for both pages. I went to go stamp that picture and then realized that I just stamped it through the paper. It tore through the paper. So stamped it on some white paper. Now I am just kind of fussy cutting out everything that I'm going to need, and the scallop circles that I have are Hello Craft Stash, In My Happy Place, some scissors, and Currently Making. I kind of discovered through making this page that a lot of the prompt stamps fit in that scallop circle. The latest stamp set called Ready to Explore, and it's perfect for fitting a lot of the prompts in there. So I'm just going to finish up fussy cutting them, and then I'm going to place them on the different sides of the photos, and then of course add in some of the flowers. I printed a bunch of bright colors to match this spread, and also because I was running out of flowers to finish up this project. Like the greens and the pinks and the purples I was running out of. And one of my tricks, like I've mentioned before in other videos probably, is that I just cut them in half so that way they last a little bit longer. I cut out the photos, the little photo stamps, that way I could fix it where I literally stabbed the paper or punched a hole in the paper. It was just a weird angle that I hit this stamp. So I am going to also at the bottom put an outline flower. I think that's what it's called in the digital file. And I'm just going to cut it in half and then put Time to Scrap over it. And then I'm just tucking in some green and yellow flowers as well. Now I can move on to 23, Fave Exercise. I had to stamp the 2 twice and I really didn't like it, so I decided to just stamp it on paper and then I will fussy cut it out. and just glue it down. And mind you, 2 and 3 are very hard numbers to cut out, so it was not easy for my hands, but I made it work. It looks all right. Just going to keep moving forward. And I am going to use my E to make an F, and then I'll stamp out fave exercise. And I know that I already did a monochromatic green layout, and I didn't necessarily intend to do that here. I thought I was going to add in some blue, but somehow as I go through this project or this particular spread, I wound up sticking with just green. It just naturally went that way. I think mainly because the photo lent itself to green, and I just gravitate towards green. So there you go. Another monochromatic green spread. I have some stamp phrases that I just cut out, one that says one with nature, and then another one that says explore more, and at the bottom I kind of messy stamped this is scrap worthy. So I mixed several different stamps, and I even made a little tag. I'm going to make that in just a minute, and it's going to have some cool little stamps on it. I just stamped out a perfect day to go for a ride, and then I'm doing the tag, the little, I like to say motel key, so there you go, the motel key, little tag keychain, and I stamped out love the open road, needed this escape, and some 2 arrows. And then I will just cluster those up at the top left of my photo, and then I have that little cluster at the bottom right of my photo. And so I make 3 different clusters, and that way I have a nice visual triangle. So up at the top I have today's adventure and then a flower. And I will finish off 23 with the flower, adding the flowers, and then also some arrows. So right there, I put explore more because it needed some more black. I was going to put the today's adventure there, but it just would be too much green, and it'd be like saturated with green, and I didn't want that. So that's why I moved the explore more and cut out a few more green flowers that I needed to add into my spread. And then I even have a darker green one kind of sticking out that I'm cutting right now, and I really like it. It's almost like a tab now, but I don't mind it sticking out. Adds a little something different to the spread. So I'm going to cut that in half and then add to the left and to the right and finish up this spread. I love it, and I miss cycling, and hopefully this summer I can get back to cycling. All right, so for 24, I am doing a rainbow, and I know it might turn out to be a hot mess, but I am going to do it anyways. I have 2 scraps of paper to kind of block off and mask what I don't want to stamp. And so I am starting with red, and I'm using the Everyday Greenery and a Bow Bunny butterfly stamp set, and then some Crafty Jen Scow stamps. I edited out most of the stamping of the rainbow because I knew it would take a long time to include all the stamping, but you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. So I scoot over and get ready to move on to yellow, and I notice that orange is missing a small gap. So I go back to orange, and I'm going to fill in that gap, and then I will move on to yellow. I'm also using a brush lettering pen to outline the different sections of the rainbow, and that way it also kind of ties into the hope card. I have no idea if this is going to look good in the end, but this was kind of my thinking when I thought about hope and how the card is black and white, and you just go from there into a rainbow if you just keep hoping, right? So I took it very metaphorically. So I'm finishing up yellow, and now I'm going to do green, my favorite color, and I'm using the same stamp sets for all of them. I'm just switching it out with the butterfly and the different greenery and leaves that I use. And then I will move on to blue. And as I was doing blue, I discovered that my scrapbook.com sky blue and then my archival cobalt was a really cool combination. So I'm going to use those same inks to do 24, because I had no idea what color scheme I was going to do for sets of 3. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. I am doing purple, and then I'm going to finish up with pink, and that will be the last section of my rainbow. And then I'm going to dig through my stash for a special number. I wanted to do a wood veneer number since I haven't done that since 9, I believe. So it's time that I do a wood veneer, but I couldn't find one. So I'm going to wind up finding a December daily number 23, and I will use that. And yes, my pink section wound up very fat and chunky, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It was just fun creating a rainbow. And for a few of the sections, purple, pink, yellow, and orange and red, I added in some flowers. Now I'm going to put in the card that I have, and then I'm also going to, I glued down the 23, and then I'm going to add some journaling lines and move on to 24. So 24 came from Kellie's list, which was sets of 3, or just, she had 3, and I had no idea what that meant or anything. So, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do sets of 3. I think it'd be fun to do sets of 3. And since I have a ton of Christine's prompts, I am going to use a ton of those. I just used a marker to do sets of 3. And then I tried to do a border below it with some of the greenery, and it looks a hot mess. I will probably fix it later. So I am just going to cover basically in kind of a circle-ish the different prompts that I have, and I'm going to switch between that sky blue and that cobalt. And I'm also going to add in some greenery with those same colors in the edges of my paper. And same thing with the 24. I added some greenery around there. So some of the prompts that I picked are This Sparks Joy, Dinner Time, Thankful for This, Quick Snack, Got This Today, Breakfast of Champions, TV and Chill, Currently feeling Midnight Snack, and This Gives Me Energy. And then off camera, I am going to fill in the prompts with like the first 3 things that come to my mind. And I really absolutely love how this came together. I think this is a wonderful way to capture a story about yourself, about life right now, about your family right now. It's just a very cool way to use the prompt sets and to just have a quick way to like jog your memory and document pieces of your life. So that is it for this prompt video, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all 4 of these come to life. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you want to keep seeing my videos. All right, have a great day. Bye.